Did you know that there are two Talmuds? I'm bored of selecting my Talmud topics based strictly on the professional haters who are intentionally ignorant. So if you want to know what the Talmud is, and most of all what it isn't, go find a previous video that I've made. But in this one, I'm going to move on to a fresh topic. So the Talmud that you usually hear about is the Babylonian Talmud, but there is also the Jerusalem Talmud. What are the differences between the two? I would say that at least 98% of global study happens inside of the Babylonian Talmud, which would explain why it's more well known. But what are the differences in terms of style and content? The Jerusalem Talmud style, in comparison, is crystal clear. There are substantially fewer arguments, and the verdict in terms of Jewish law is in most cases straightforward. The Babylonian Talmud, however, is chock full with arguments and strong questions and a continuous exchange of proofs for one side of the argument, both logical and biblical. In many cases, it's almost difficult to discern whom the final verdict is like. The metaphor given is that the Babylonian Talmud is like groping in the darkness, where you stumble upon almost everything in your way, and the Jerusalem Talmud is like getting to your destination in the light, which makes the next difference very surprising. In the rare instance that there's a discrepancy between what the law is in the Babylonian Talmud and Jerusalem Talmud, Jews follow the Babylonian Talmud. But why? Wouldn't we want to reach the law in the light instead of the dark? Well, Hasidism takes this metaphor even further. Let's say two people are in a room. One sees and one is blind. Who would you guess knows the room better? Of course, the seeing person. The seeing person does what he wants in the room, and the blind person has to stumble and grope until he gets to do what he's seeking to do. But the moment the light is shut, in most cases, the seeing person has taken everything in that room for granted and failed to commit its details to memory, whereas the blind person was forced to because of how much stumbling he did and how little stumbling he wanted to do in the future. The analog for this is that only through the messiness of the Babylonian Talmud is the law fully known. Only through the intense heat of argument will a pure understanding result.